Okay, so in math, interest is the extra money you earn or pay when you save or borrow money. And we can calculate simple interest by using a formula, which is right here. So in order to calculate the interest, which is that amount of money that you earn, you need your principal amount. And this is the original amount of money that's borrowed or deposited. You also need your rate. And this sometimes is given to you as a decimal, sometimes it's given to you as a percent. When you're using the rate in this formula, you have to make sure it's written as a decimal or percent, and you have to use the percent symbol if you're writing it as a percent. And then you also need the time, and that has to be in years. If it's given to you in months, you have to convert it. If it's given to you in minutes, you have to convert it. It has to be in years. And then when you multiply the principal, the rate, and the time in years together, it gives you the amount of interest that's being earned. So in number 1, it says Greg borrowed $2,000 from the bank at a rate of 6% simple interest per year. How much interest did he pay in 5 years? So it gives us our principal, which is $2,000. It gives us our rate as a percent, which is 6%, and it gives us the amount of time in years. So I can use my formula, which is interest equals principal times rate times time in years. So interest equals 2,000 times 6% times 5 years. And when I multiply all this together, I get interest equals 600. So how much interest did Greg pay in 5 years? He paid $600. Number 2 says a new bank customer with $12,000 wants to open a money market account. The bank is offering a simple interest rate of 1.1%. How much interest will the customer earn in 20 years? Okay, so this is the amount of money that they're going to deposit. So it's our original amount, which means it's our principal. The interest rate is 1.1%. And we want to know how much interest in 20 years. So interest equals our principal times our rate, which is 1.1%, and so when I multiply all this together, I get interest equals 2,640. Okay, so the difference between the problems that we were doing in number 1 and 2 versus 3 and 4 is now we have to, it's like multi-step. So it's no longer just asking us how much interest the customer is going to earn, it's asking us how much total we have to pay back. So we're going to do the same thing because we still have to find the interest. Saratha took out a personal loan of $9,000 from the bank at a rate of 7% simple interest per year for 3 years. This is the total amount Saratha paid back, including the loan and the interest. So, again, the only difference between 1 and 2 versus 3 and 4 is we're looking for the total amount paid back. So, interest equals our principal, which is $9,000. And we have to multiply that by our rate, which is 7%. And we're looking for 3 years worth of interest. So when I multiply those 3 things together, I get 1,890. Now this is the interest. So to get my total, I have to take my original amount. So total equals 9,000 plus the amount that I would have to pay in interest, which is 1,890. And when I add those together, I get 10,890. So the total amount, 10,890. Okay. Number 4 says you have $790 in a savings account that earns 2.75% interest, simple interest each year. How much will be in your account in 8 years? So this problem, it's not directly telling us that we need to find the total. But if we're earning interest on $790, we have to find how much interest that is going to get us in 8 years and then add that back to what we originally started with, because that's how much is going to be in our account. So to find my interest, I have to take my principal, which is my original amount that I'm starting with, which is $790, multiply that by 2.75%, and I'm looking for 8 years of that. So when I multiply all of those together, I get $173.80. Now again, to figure out how much is going to be in my account after 8 years, I have to first take what I started with, which is $790, and then add the interest to it, and that equals $963.80. So, for every single problem you're going to have to do, you have to find the principal, which is the original amount that you're starting with, that you borrow or that you have in an account. You have to find the rate, and again, you can either use the rate as a decimal or a percent. Then you need to have the time, and that has to be in years. Multiply all this together and you get your interest.